Hello and welcome to episode 42 of the GuildMag Podcast. As always, I'm Valiant and we've got Miko and Aaron with us today. Say hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hi.
How are you?
You said to say hey guys. You didn't say hey guys.
Hey guys.
Gotta redo the whole thing now.
No, shut up. Just go.
What's wrong with you?
So it's Valentine's Day today.
Oh man, I was
Yes.
hoping we could get through the podcast without mentioning it.
No.
Yeah, as you tweeted it out.
So
I may have done a Valentine's related tweet regarding the podcast.
Oh really? I haven't
Mhm.
seen it. What did it say? I haven't seen it.
It's the Valentine's Day edition, is what he said.
No.
It's not,
Um,
really. It's not.
So have you guys doing anything Valentine's related? No. We all just
We're hanging out with you.
Yeah, oh god.
I mean, our Valentine's Day was yesterday because my girlfriend works today. So and I have to do this today. So I was like, I
Yeah.
can't Valentine's with you on Sunday.
Wow.
So really, you blamed us. That's nice.
You really
Yeah.
are with it. Yeah. As Polska says, it's the lonely person's edition today. Oh.
I'm not going to ascribe to that.
We have nothing better to do on Valentine's Day.
So,
We're here to provide content for the community.
right before the show, I did some Googling for some Valentine's Day jokes. I thought, we might
Really?
as well
Okay.
have one of those.
Cringe moment.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't got much else to talk about today, so might as well pad it out. So, why did the banana go out with the prune?
Really?
Because it couldn't get a date.
That's really bad.
It's it really is, isn't it?
Yeah, I've actually.
That's what you came out with, was fruit jokes.
Yeah, I'm actually. I'm tearing up right now because it made me sad. Tears are welling in my eyes. They're going to start streaming down eventually.
What travels around the world but stays in one corner? Oh no, that's crap. Never mind that one.
Okay.
Oh, this is the one I want. What did the Valentine card say to the stamp?
Kiss me.
Well, no. Don't be
I'm
daft.
stuck on you.
No, though that would be a good one.
I mean, plant one on me.
Stick with me and we'll go places.
So Sandra was basically right.
Yeah. What did the light bulb say to the switch?
Turn me on, baby.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, these are all a bit. I was trying to find like some decent ones, but there really aren't any.
But
So,
you failed utterly.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
enough of that for the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
please.
all the viewers just left.
Yeah.
No, really. The heck. Come back.
Um,
We stopped the jokes.
So yeah, this week there's no real news to talk about. So we're going to be talking a little bit about, since we're in
Fake
a lull.
news.
Yeah, we're going to be faking our way through it basically. We're kind of in a bit of a lull at the moment, I think it's fair to say, in game. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that, what we're kind of hoping for in the coming weeks, and just some general stuff that's been going on in the community. But before all that, as we always do, we will go through the gem store stuff. So a little bit more Valentine's Day stuff to get through.
Mm-hmm.
So for 400 gems, you can get yourself a shiny Wings of Love glider, which I think it leaves rose petals or something in the air behind, doesn't it?
It drops hearts.
Oh, right. Ah, there we go.
Oh my god.
So
Yep.
just in case,
Very pink hearts.
That is not not something I want on
Are
my
you guys
character.
lying? Are you lying?
No.
no, you know my thought on wings.
No, I'm not I mean, I like the Love Struck weapon set, right? But this is too far. This is too far.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna come
Take
and
it out
troll
of the
your
game.
stream. Monday, right? Tomorrow is your stream.
Have you bought it? The skin?
Oh my
Oh,
god, she got it.
Wow.
Because I did.
Oh.
Yes, I
You
do know why
got
I did it, right? I did it just to troll the two of you.
Did you just have a
Fantastic.
big grin on your face when you were buying it? Like,
Yes,
"Ugh,
I
he's
went
gonna hate
purchase.
this.
Yeah, pretty much. Purchase, and it's
Lovely.
only available for not much longer.
Yeah, 2 more days, I think, isn't it?
Mhm.
Fortunately, and then hopefully never to come back, but no doubt it will be at some
It
point.
will come back
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah. So we have the soaring weapon set for 1 black lion ticket each. I'm kind of a bit meh about them. I like the short bow. That's about it from me. I know Aaron, you like a couple of them.
I like the shield, and I like the torch and the longbow. They're pretty cool, but the rest of them are, they're kind of awful.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know the particle effects that go around them that look like it's spitting?
That make no sense and have absolutely no context whatsoever.
It reminds me of what they've done to the precursors for Dusk, Twilight, and, well, not Dusk and Twilight, Dusk. And what was the other one for Sunrise? What's the
Dawn.
precursor for that one? Dawn?
Yeah.
Yeah. The opposite of Dusk.
It's like... So yeah, I just don't like that particle effect. It's so bad. And I saw someone
it's kind of cheap. It's kind of cheap looking. I mean, it's extra. Huh?
I said I was gonna say I saw someone in game with that really. They were rocking that really bad skin of Dusk, and it was like, why?
Yeah,
I'm glad you got the precursor, but please just put that away because it is ugly.
Yeah, I don't like those skins because they have this sort of like really matte, opaque paint job that looks like you just went to like a, one of those seedy places to get your car painted that charges like $50.
Yeah, and they just left primer
That's
on
what
the
the
car.
swords look like. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like you went to Lucky Louie's drive-in paint or something.
So these soaring ones are like they're shinier and they've got feathers, so they're carrying over this wings thing now into the weapons. I don't know.
I feel like this weapon set is meant to be like, hey guys, aren't these kind of Tengu-y? Think
Yes.
think Tengu are coming? And my reply to that is yes, they're Tengu-y. No, Tengu aren't coming.
Yeah.
You did not get me, ArenaNet.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing I don't like, as we were talking about this before the show, is that the sword at least looks too chunky for like the wing thing. Like for me, I was expecting to I looked at it like side on, so I just saw like the wings, and I saw like I guess the blade of it, and it was like, whoa, that's way too thick, and it's way too like notched rather than smooth, and I was just like, nah, it's ruined it for me. Like up until that point, it was a good sword, and I saw the blade, and I was like, nope. Had to go and ruin it somewhere.
I don't know. I don't mind the sword. The sword would probably be the next one I would like after the torch and the shield and the longbow, but it wasn't a huge fan of the sword. I was kind of grasping at straws at that point, trying to find things I liked about them.
Yeah. As Cloak and Dagger said about the sword, they like it because it looks mostly like a scimitar. But yeah, it's a nice shape. I'd like it if it wasn't, I don't know, as chunky looking, just blade wise.
There's some better scimitar-esque skins in the game. And its curve isn't quite, like, the tip isn't quite right for a scimitar either, but yeah, it's a curved sword, is what it is.
So also
stab people with it.
Yeah. Also in the gem store, we've got the Lovestruck weapon set. I like a couple of these. I like, I especially like the sword, the rapier kind of Lovestruck.
I used the dagger on my Necro, the Lovestruck Anlace.
Yeah, that was nice. I've got the torch as well, and I think the short bow. I went a little crazy one year and I just caught a bunch of them.
I mean, there's a lot of them I don't like. Like the great sword is terrible in the Lovestruck set.
Yeah, I don't think
the handle is longer than the blade. That's a problem.
That's a problem. Yeah,
that's a spear. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get your hands on them for 2 Black Lion tickets, double the price of a soaring weapon. We also have the wedding preparation package.
Yeah, they were going a little crazy
if you're
here.
looking to get hitched in game, which contains a wedding attire outfit, name change contract, because that's very important. A total makeover kit, bouquet of roses, and 5 teleport to friend charges, just so you can actually find your to-be, what's the word? Fiance?
A fiance.
Yeah.
You're intended. You're betrothed.
That's
the one. You're betrothed. It's also those. I feel like those teleport to friends are like, so you can just message your friends, be like, "Yo, Doug, I'm having a wedding."
Yeah.
Right. Here's your invitation.
Get everybody together. Good. Just pop up beside someone in the Maguma jungle, dude. I'm getting married.
Yeah. But I mean, what is it? The wedding attire outfit itself is like 1,000 gems because it's got like how many different skins in there? Because it's got what two per.
It's got a
Per
skin for
race?
each gender for each race.
Mhm.
So I
So
mean that's
10?
5 times 2 is 10. Yeah, 10 skins.
We can do
in there.
math.
Yeah.
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 Listen, I got there eventually.
It's all right.
So yeah, if you want to get married in Guild Wars 2, now's
There's
the
a
time.
chapel.
You can do it for basically 1,600 gems.
Mm-hmm. And then you can go and film it at the chapel.
I was gonna say you
In
can
Lion's Arch.
spend
Yeah.
you can spend all these gems and then there's not actually a system for getting married
Yeah.
in the game.
No.
So
Yeah.
that's always nice.
They put one.
I feel like
in...
because they have these wedding outfits, they have the like all this lovey-dovey stuff for Valentine's, and they have that location in Lion's Arch. Just put the marriage system in, man.
They put one in Final Fantasy 14.
Did they really?
And people
it's
love
properly-
it.
It's a proper system. Like you have to send out invites, book a venue in a day, like choose your decorations and your outfits. It's like a proper full-on plan your own wedding in an MMO.
So is
And
this
people
like
love
something that appeals more to like our peers, or because
I don't know. I don't know. I guess. I mean, I was gonna do it just for a laugh. And I never got around to it. I was gonna marry Joe, but he rejected my advances. So
You were rebuffed.
yeah.
Nice.
I think we need to move on.
And yeah, you have rings as well.
Yeah.
And everything, and it's kind of cool. I don't really see them ever doing it in Guild Wars 2. It's
I don't know. It would make a lot of people happy, but clearly
is
they've
the investment worth
like
it
they're
at the
already
time?
monetizing the crap out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the system's not even in place, and they're monetizing it.
You know,
Yeah.
best of both worlds, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
So Carnifex says this could probably be OP, but they should sell paired wedding rings in the gem store that work like a teleport to a friend. And then he catches you have to officially get married in LA.
Also, I don't think they would give anyway something that OP. Like that's
No.
crazy. Right? But Necto in chat asks kind of a follow-up question: is what do you get if you get married? Like less taxes on the turning post? No, I
Nothing.
think all you would get if you get married is a little icon by your name that says I'm married. That's literally it. You get like a heart by your name or something that would go and just add to the list.
Because
of
the nameplate isn't really getting full enough as it is,
yeah,
right?
I think they would give you a nameplate icon and that's it. And maybe if someone mouses over it, they can see married to so and so.
That's not my. It's really not my kind of
That's-
thing.
yeah, no.
No. It's a bit too like a second life for me.
Oh,
If that's
actually,
still
Polska brings up a good question in chat. He says, "I would marry all my friends. Will they allow
Can you get
polygamy in
married
Guild
once, my
Wars 2?
friend?
Can you
You
get
wanna
married as
create a
many
harem?
times as you want?"
Now, if you wanted a harem.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think they would ever
see.
give out like chat's going on about free boons and stuff. I don't think they would ever give out anything that would give you any sort of advantage for getting married because it's too easy. It'd just be like, "Yo, dog, you want to get married? Cool, get all this cool stuff." So they're never gonna do that.
Oh my gosh.
So, if you don't want to get married, but you do want to give your Valentine something, you can give them a box of chocolates and a bouquet of roses for 250 gems each. You see my nice little segue there?
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that was really...
What I
and-
find amusing about these
yeah.
two is that they allow you to participate in costume brawl.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a thing that's in this game
Yeah.
that nobody ever does ever.
I love you. Here are some chocolates and roses. Fight me.
Doesn't the box of chocolates make you shrink?
I'm
one
not
of them
sure. I've
does, I think.
never used it.
I think it does because I want to say people like that because shrinking for jumping puzzles is nice sometimes.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
For a Char or Norn, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's also various discounts. Bag slot expansion gifting is now a thing, apparently.
Yes.
So that might be a more useful present if you genuinely want to give someone something for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, if you guys want to give me bag slots,
Yeah,
I'm gonna...
I was
I'm not-
literally about to ask, how dare you? How dare you?
Because your inventory isn't packed enough.
Yeah, well,
Now, Aaron's I can see because Aaron has one bank tab. And that's
I do.
it.
One bank tab. It's pretty
How many bank tabs have you got, Rowan?
All of them.
no, I've only bought one.
You've got more than two.
Well, maybe I've got three.
Maybe.
I want to
Have I
say
got-
about more.
Have I got 4?
Because so many
I don't
lost.
know.
I have a
Lost
feeling you've
track.
got about 4 or 5.
I might have 4 actually,
Lost track.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
but now that kind of goes with the other one, the storage
Yes.
expander.
So now you can have up to 2,000 items per what's
Stack.
the word? Well,
Per,
it's not
like,
per thing.
Per thing.
Yeah.
Per thing in the I don't even know what it's called.
Per slot in your storage.
Storage.
Yeah.
Material storage.
Material storage. That's the one I'm looking for.
Mhm.
So if you are a heavy crafter or a heavy hoarder, then go for it. And that's Gemstore news.
Yeah.
Moving on to community news then. So developers are taking suggestions on glider skins and just general glider feedback. My suggestion is no more wings, please God. I'm just done with them. Although we were talking before about how it'd be cool to have like the holographic wings, the shattered ones, not the other ones.
The anemic
Why not
ones.
both?
No,
Not the anemic ones.
the shattered ones are the best, and I'm sure everyone in chat would agree with me. And we don't need to ask them. We're just going to move on.
Terribly animated.
Well, yeah, but they're still better than the others.
You even admit they
and
have
the
terrible
feathers.
animations.
No,
He means the flappy holographic ones that I like
Yeah.
those ones. I have them. They're cool.
Yeah, one of you has one and the other one has the other,
I've
right?
got the shattered.
Yeah,
ones.
the anemic ones, the ones that look like they're
They're nice.
rheumatic fingers of an old person.
Well, yeah. Oh, TK makes a good suggestion. No more wings. How about kind of a mist or a smoke?
Like how
Oh,
they've
yeah.
been doing the particle effects for the shoulder pieces. They could do them for glider skins.
That would be cool. Cloak and dagger, shattered wings are best. Thank you very much. End of discussion. We're moving on.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
So last week, we talked a lot about DPS No, not last week. Well, last episode that wasn't last
yeah.
week. We talked a lot about DPS meter, the kind of legal DPS meter. It's now got a kind of official name and release on the website. GW2DPS.com, not to be confused with GW2DPS, the illegal version, which already existed. You think they'd have maybe done their research and called it something else?
Something else.
Because you can literally Google GW2DPS and it will come up with the one you shouldn't be using. But yeah, it's good. I haven't used it yet. I'm not sure if I will. But if I ever need a DPS meter, I'll be sure to use it. It looks like it's got a lot of the features you'd want in a DPS meter. There is some kind of debate about its actual accuracy. I think some people quoted it was giving 15% over or something, like overestimating your DPS a bit,
Ooh, that's a bit.
which is not great. I'd rather it was under than over.
I mean,
Um,
to be fair though, it'll still tell you who the lowest DPS person in the group is, so you can kick them.
True.
yeah,
I mean, that's
ultimately,
really
that's
what
the
it's
goal,
for, am
yeah.
I right?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But yeah, it's good. It's kind of a crappy way of doing a DPS meter, but it's the best we're ever really gonna get.
Are you guys using it in raids?
We're not. I mean, we've got past Gorseville now. Thank God, that took way too long. So
Mhm.
there's no DPS. Well, Sabbather isn't as much for DPS check as Gorseville. So if you can do Gorseville, you can do Sabbather. So we don't need a DPS meter. And to be honest, you don't really need one anyway for raiding at the moment. Like DPS checks aren't that big. Like looking at them. So, but yeah. There it is, GW2DPS.com, check it out. It's quite easy to set up and use by the looks of it. And it allows you to view everyone's DPS in the group. You send it to a server, it sends it all back. And yeah, if our views on it, we discussed last episode, so you can go and listen/watch that now, if you didn't catch it on our YouTube channel. And that's it. And then the final piece of news is our competition to win 800 gems is still open. So it's in our previous magazine issue, which is the annual 2015 issue 16. It's a screenshot contest. I can't actually remember what the actual contest is. It's take a screenshot of, I think it might be your favorite moment from Guild Wars 2 in 2015 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
That sounds right.
any kind of old screenshot you've got from Guild Wars 2 from last year that you think really embodies your experience of the game, send it in. More information on guildmag.com. Click on in the sidebar, there'll be an annual. If you click on the magazine link, you'll be able to
Aaron
find
just
it.
linked it.
And yeah, links in chat and will be in the show notes. And the deadline is February the 29th because it's a leap year. So 2 more weeks.
And Polska asks regarding the DPS meter, does everyone in your party have to have it installed for it to work properly?
So it will ping back in terms of reporting on everyone else's DPS. It will just ping back what the server receives. So it will, if say you've got a squad of 10 and only 8 people have it installed, it'll just ping back the DPS for those 8 people that are reporting to it. If you want to use it just yourself, you can use it in, I think they call it solo mode or something, where where you can just monitor your own DPS. You don't have to send it to a server or anything like that. And so yeah, check it out. It looks like it's going to be quite well supported, maintained, and updated. There's a word of caution. There's no actual confirmation from ArenaNet whether or not it's technically allowed or not. It doesn't modify the game in any way, and it doesn't read from memory, which definitely isn't allowed. But they're never really going to say yes, you can use this DPS meter. So it's by no means guaranteed.
They're never going to support it.
Yeah, it's by no means guaranteed that you won't get banned for using it, but chances are you won't, because there's nothing that directly conflicts with the terms of service.
Right.
Yeah, I think they'll never fully support it because it's just against their philosophies, but they're not going to ban anyone for using it because it doesn't break any rules.
I don't think any MMO developer really supports the DPS meter.
Not
anyway.
Not officially, but like you said with
officially.
XIV on last episode, they basically developed their game for it. So
exactly.
Yeah.
They're just never going to come out and verbally
acknowledge
accept
admit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so finally, game news. So February the 9th, we had a patch, just general kind of bug fixes, QOL changes. One good thing is they added adrenal mushrooms to Spirit Veil near rally points, so if you wipe you have no more cooldowns, assuming you have the mastery, so that's always useful. Apart from that, nothing really big, just general polish and stuff. Various bug fixes across things, a couple of tweaks with the Shatterer, but nothing major.
Nice.
And that's the news. So this week we're kind of going to take it a bit slow. We're going to talk about the lull that we're experiencing at the moment. And we haven't really had anything. When did Heartthorns launch?
October 23rd.
23rd.
There you go. I'm glad you guys are here. So past few months we haven't had that much to go on. We had the Winter 2016 update, which brought some stuff, but nothing really kind of meaty to make you really stick around.
Yeah, I think people got excited about that because it was a good patch, but I think what most of the excitement revolved around how long the blog post was about the patch. But all the stuff was really little stuff. I mean, the Shatterer was the biggest thing, and that, like, after you played it once or twice, it's like, okay, that's a thing now. So it really, it didn't give us that much to kind of stimulate our gameplay for months on end. We're kind of back to that point and like, what do I do? Grind hot metas.
Yeah. So, I mean, speaking of what have you guys been doing in-game lately? Anything exciting?
Map completion.
So no.
repeating story steps for Viper's gear.
Yep, I did that. I've got 6 boxes. I think I might have 7 actually. But yeah, lots of Viper's boxes across my. But yeah, I've been doing the GuildMag live streams, and that's been most of my gameplay. When I'm not doing that, I'm like just on my Guardian doing Heart of Thorns map metas, just because it's like, I'm level 80. That's a thing I can do that'll get me things and experience.
Right.
So,
yeah, I've kind of taken a step backwards. We were talking about how everyone just rushed through the Heart of Thorns content. And I've just kind of found myself reverting back to just taking it easy and kind of going, all right, well, I don't have to. I've already played through the story, so now I can just go and do whatever. So what do I feel like doing? Lately, this week, I've only logged in mostly for dailies, which don't take long, but it gets me some brain break time. Yeah.
Well, then before the game came out, I was like super gung ho to do my masteries because I was like, I want to get max masteries and be able to do everything. And then it turned out once you get like tier 1 and 2 in every mastery, you don't feel restricted anymore from like anything in the game. So it lost all my motivation to actually go get those masteries because I can do everything. Like I have every hot map completed, and I don't have anywhere close to all the masteries. I'm mastery level 42. That's insanely low. And I have map complete.
I'm 28. I'm lower than you.
Yeah, it's like why? It's like, oh, get all these masteries so you could traverse the jungle easier and defeat enemies. It's like I'm done. I finished the jungle. I don't need these masteries. Why would I get these? The only reason to get masteries past like level 35 is to have a cool number by your name. That's pretty much it.
That's the reason I'm doing it.
I what level are you now?
Like 40, low 40. Like
I'm like the scrub of the group today.
I feel really inadequate in our raid group because I think I'm probably the lowest. So I'm just like, oh, don't think I'm a noob, please. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, the most useful ones are probably the pack mastery line because it gives you all sorts of little goodies, and the fractal line because it makes your fractal experience better. But like the Maguma ones, I don't find myself using speed boost mushrooms. You know, I don't stealth glide. Like here's how much I don't stealth glide on stream. In Kessex Hills last Monday, I stealth glided on accident, and it got me an achievement, and I was like, what did I just do? I had no idea
he had to ask chat to figure out why he had actually into stealth. He's like, I don't know how I did that.
Wow.
No, I didn't know I had stealth gliding unlocked. That's how meaningless these masteries are to me, and I don't know. I'm pretty dissatisfied with the system, because it's like, yeah, there's progression there to do, and it's great, but I don't feel like I need it. I have no drive to do that progression because it feels unnecessary.
Yeah. Didn't Colin say on Guild Chat they were going to nerf mastery, like how long it takes to get masteries or something?
Yes. Yeah, they brought that up in Guild Chat, and they repeated it this past episode.
Yeah.
They are looking at the metrics and seeing how long it takes.
Sucks to be anyone who's maxed them already.
Yeah, max people are going to be so butthurt about that. Guys, I don't care. Like, I wouldn't care if they didn't change it, and I don't care if they change it. They're there. I can do them whenever I want. There's no pressure because I don't need them for anything. So,
although FPS Polska in chat says that you need poison training for events in Tangle Depths and Dragon Stand.
Yeah, you do. But
I know I got poison training, and I was still only like level 30 mastery. I got you need poison lore to get one POI or like a couple POIs in Tangle Depths. That's about it.
I mean, that's like a map that I go into only for story steps, and it's like,
oh yeah, Tangle Depths makes me want to tear my hair out of my scalp. But
although I was looking through some of the collections, and the Chronomancer Final Shield needs you to get something from defeating Chuck Garrett in Tangle Depths, and I kind of cried inside.
There's a lot of collections that require the Chalk Garrett.
It's pretty easy. Now that people got it down,
I've never done it.
You just need to taxi. You can taxi in and leach.
Yeah. I've just never done. I've never done that.
I mean, I've only ever done the TD meta maybe 3 times. Like, all my time in games I spent raiding or Dragon Stand. Like that's literally my life in Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, I haven't even touched Dragon Stand.
Dragon Stand's my favorite meta for. Out of all the maps. Tarir is probably the most profitable, but Dragon Stand's my favorite.
Yeah. So, should we expect any new content anytime soon, do you guys think? I mean, I know they kind of been teasing this new raid boss on Guild Chat, so can we expect that maybe in a couple of weeks, now that they're kind of teasing it a bit more?
Next raid within the next, I think before May, we'll have the next raid wing.
I would hope to see it drop in game before April.
I'm honestly thinking like a few weeks if they're teasing it now.
I know, but I never give them the benefit of the doubt like that because game development takes so freaking long, and it's just like, guys, I don't know. The most confident I can be is within the next 2 months, because before that it's off the table. Like, I have no idea. So that's as far as I'm willing to speculate, is within the next 2 months.
Fair enough. So,
because the simple fact is, they'll never be able to produce content at the rate we can consume it. Like, that's just how it's going to be. They spend months developing an encounter that will play for 2 hours.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Season 3? Do we think anytime soon? I mean, we haven't really heard anything about it, so I'm not particularly holding my breath.
Not quarter 1 for sure. Yeah, I'm looking summer or fall.
Yeah, fall, I think. Because they'll probably want to do half the season before and then half of the season January 2017. The dead look in Sandra's eyes.
I know. I'm
So,
just
I
like,
mean, is there going to be enough to keep us going until then? Because you guys don't raid. So for me, once a new raid wing comes out, there'll be loads of stuff to do for.
It'll be a lot of fun, yeah.
So
well, see, is one of the things that I've been working towards is my ascended something for raids. What am I working on? A scepter or something? Anyway, so I'm
What
just
am I
kind of like,
working
I don't know.
She's like,
I mean,
all I know is I'm saving money. I don't know what it's for anymore.
I'm actually part of the reason why I'm doing the story steps is to farm leyline sparks because I don't play the Tangled Depths map enough. So I'm just like, well, I'll just repeat the story steps because whatever. Plus, I need to get the Viper's gear. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so plus I need the Viper's gear, so I'm just like, well, okay, I'll just knock out story steps because it's easy and not that bad.
Yeah, you can run the whole story in like 4 hours. It's insane.
Yeah, I don't know, but
TK in chat says any mention or speculation on gliding in WW, you're never going to get it.
I don't think so. I think
Unless they develop a map, a separate WW Borderlands specifically for gliding, you're not going to get it.
I mean, even then they said they won't because of they want it to be an equal playing field.
yeah.
And people without heart thorns.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Won't.
Of course, every time I say something is not going to happen with utter confidence,
It happens.
Like in a week, they're like, guys, here it is. And I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
like, I'm done trying to speculate on this game.
Yeah, they do it to shut you up.
They do. They listen to me. They're like, guys, Aaron's giving us some crap this week. What do you guys want
Let's
to troll
go.
him?
Yeah.
So going back to talking a little bit about masteries earlier, there was an idea floating around on Reddit this week about an infinite mastery line that gives kind of spirit shards or laurels or just anything useful to do with the XP you're accumulating. If you've
After you've maxed them.
yeah, if you've maxed out, then like you used to get crap. What did you used to get?
You used to get skill points for leveling
Yeah,
up past
Yeah,
that's it.
skill
Yeah, that's
points.
the word. It's completely times have changed since my day. I think it's not a bad idea, especially for people who
Oh,
have.
it's a good idea. It's
Who-
it'll be like the daily login reward. Like you get,
Mhm.
I'd like it to be you max out this mastery line. It's like 6 million XP or something stupid like that because that's what the end game masteries are like. And then you get to choose from like 10 laurels or some ascended mats or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like 20 spirit shards. I don't know why anyone would choose spirit shards. Nobody needs those, but
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're listening and reading that, go for it. And maybe one day when I've finally done all my masteries, I might use it. And so speaking about kind of retaining players and making people play more, NCSoft's Q14 earnings report came out this week for last year. And Reddit was kind of quick to speculate and point out that Hearthorn sales had been much lower than expected. It's worth noting that it wasn't actually anyone from NCSoft that brought that up. It was an outside representative from JP Morgan. And their reply was they see the issue as trying to just get more free-to-play accounts to actually convert and buy the expansion. And obviously to do this, they're kind of trying to think of ways to tease people into buying Heart of Thorns. So I think probably core Tyria gliding was one of the quick.
I said it was a
ways they could
marketing
do
ploy.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
They were also mentioned they may explore kind of more frequent Heart of Thorns only content as another incentive to get people to buy the expansion. So what do you guys think? Do you think it was? I mean, I didn't actually look at the sales figures, but it didn't seem like it wasn't like a total flop or anything.
No,
I think
it sold really super
yeah.
well, like crazy well. And then they come out, they're like, well, it wasn't quite as good as they'd wanted. And I'm like,
Well,
what are you
that's Wall Street.
talking about? Like, I
Yeah.
guess they had really high hopes for it.
I think a lot of people on Reddit pointed out it was a really high price point, and compared to what we actually knew about the expansion.
Which we'd
because-
all been saying
Yeah,
prior.
we were saying weeks and months before it
Mhm.
that, and I didn't buy it really until the last minute because even
Mhm.
as someone that does all like stuff for GuildMag, wasn't quite sure if I could justify like spending that much.
Mhm.
And it
I don't
was,
know. It seems to me that the price point was pretty standard for your average MMO expansion.
I mean, I think it was $20 or something more than Heaven's Ward for XIV.
It was
Mhm.
WoW.
And
All WoW expansions, I think, are 50 though, aren't they? They're 40 or
I'm
50.
not sure. But I think, I mean, if we'd have known more about what it was actually going to entail, like we didn't know how much story there was in Heart of Thorns, or like how long the story was, and retrospectively, probably a good job we didn't. But
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason they kept quiet on
yeah,
that because they
I mean,
Yeah.
skipped.
we just didn't know enough about Heart of Thorns for them to justify that price point, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of that price point is features, and I don't think a lot of people are gonna, especially new people, are gonna be able to appreciate that. And so
Yeah.
that was probably a big turnoff. They didn't actually see a lot of the value there, even though they explained a lot of the value. 'Cause to me, I think the expansion was still well worth the money just because of all the features, even though the story was lackluster. The story is such a small part of what we got with the expansion
Mhm.
that I don't think, even though it was really lackluster, I don't think it was a big deal.
Yeah, I
Now,
mean,
didn't they say
regarding
that
the price
living
point.
Living World? Didn't they say that Living World seasons would be Heart of Thorns only
I think
content?
so. I think it probably
So-
will be.
So that would be one way, because if they do what we're all hoping and praying that they do, and that is make season 3 story a lot meatier and better than what we got in Heart of Thorns, then
Mhm.
that's going to incentivize people to buy the expansion, because they're going to want to play the new story. They're going to have to
Yeah.
play through Heart of Thorns story in order to get, figure out where they are with the new story. So I don't know. I don't know that it was necessarily a bad choice, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I think they kind of envision. I think they envisioned the expansion to kind of include season 3 and all these kind of extra things around it, whereas what we've actually got was less than. I don't know what I'm trying. I'm a bit like, yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say.
Well, I
know
think
Yeah.
the idea is
I think
full.
Cloak and Dagger in chat makes a good point of that they think their idea of content density didn't play out very well. I agree. I think
Yeah.
the idea that the maps had more content per square foot or whatever was completely false. I feel like the Maguma maps are actually very empty a lot of the times, very bare of content, because and I've stated this before, all the events are linked together and progress towards a certain thing, which is cool. But I also would like just more standalone events, just
Right.
dotted about the place, that are just like, hey, there's a thing here, and it's just a thing here, and it doesn't progress anything. It's not, part of this over here. It's just its own little thing,
I mean, but
and you can play it.
will people do it then? I mean, I feel like you'd probably be the only one doing it at that point, because
With the rate people need XP for masteries, yes, I think people would do it.
Yeah, that's
It would
true.
make event trains an even bigger thing in the Maguma jungle, because people go there and they scrounge for XP. People positively scrounge for XP.
Well, I mean, that was the
areas.
point that they were trying to they were kind of dancing around it on Guild Chat this week, saying, well, what can you do in game? Bite-sized fun is how they titled it.
Yeah.
What can you do to make your game time feel meaningful, because you need all of this XP for masteries? And it's like, call out in map chat if you're looking for people to play, go and complete a hero point, or, do this, go to do events. And I'm like, you're basically just saying play the game.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know?
I do that every single time
Every
I
single
get to a
time.
hero point I need to do. I'm like, I'm doing this hero point, guys. Here's my tag. And in like 2 or 3 minutes, people will show up to do it with me. So that's pretty nice.
Mhm.
But
Go on.
yeah, I
finish
did, like
your-
Friday's guild chat. A little bit lackluster. Sorry, ArenaNet, but it was a little bit lackluster. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what the point I was trying to make, that
Go
TK
on.
seems to have eloquently summed it up. So
Sure.
Heart of Thorns was only partially about current offerings, and it's hard to quantify the future tie-ins promised. And I think
Right.
that's the way they saw
Exactly.
the expansion.
Yep.
And we still haven't got many of those future tie-ins. So it's like, it doesn't feel like the expansion's essentially complete, because until we get season 3, we see kind of more raid wings and stuff that were, part of the whole Heart of Thorns is raiding, but we're going to really spread out these raid wings, which is fine because most other MMOs do it that way as well. But combined with kind of how quickly people generally complete Heart of Thorns content, has left even raiders, I think, with not much to do. And the way other MMOs overcome it is it's the gear treadmill and the gear grind, which you're raiding for weeks and weeks and weeks to progress towards the gear. Heart of Thorns, still no legendary armor, so we're not really raiding for any particular reason at the moment.
Right.
Other than just to have this future, armor and this future stuff. I think that was the issue. A lot of people didn't maybe buy it originally, and then heard how quickly the story was finished and how, quickly people essentially got over Heart of Thorns and maybe didn't end up buying it at all. I know that Netco said earlier, I think, sorry if it was someone else, that most of the friends they knew did buy Heart of Thorns. It's the same for me. I don't actually know anyone that didn't. But I suppose it's quite a strong possibility that there are those that refrained from pre-purchasing and then heard our feedback about it and just didn't, and are waiting for it to go on sale.
Chat also asked, do you think that in the next few months they should focus on polishing Hot and reduce grind more than on new stuffs? No, absolutely not. They need to be putting new stuff into the game right now. It's super important. Hot is despite the problems people have with Hot, it's in a good spot. Lots of people are still playing it. People still enjoy the content. They need to be putting new stuff in the game. They could partially focus on polishing Hot, but most of their development time should be going towards new content, I think.
Yeah. So just to go back, Bjorn, I'm so sorry.
Bjorn Rauka.
There we go. Oh wow, 3 messages. So talking about your map density thing, doesn't mean the content it doesn't mean it's not content dense, it just means that the content it has doesn't appeal to you, but the Maguma maps are unequivocally the densest maps event-wise. That said, I think that the issues with the current maps come from the fact that they are stuck to timers, and people just go from meta to meta, so as soon as your meta's over in one map, it essentially empties, and you move on to the next.
I disagree. I don't think they're the densest. They're unequivocally the densest maps event-wise. That's ridiculous. There's so many more core maps that have way more events going on, like Ore is far more event dense than the Maguma Jungle is. Frostgorge Sound is far more event dense. Dredgehaunt Cliffs is actually one a lot of people don't know about that is just full of events. I highly disagree with that statement.
I think it is just the issue of the time is when the meta's up, there's a lot of stuff going on simultaneously, and when it's not, there isn't. And I think it's kind of like an on-off kind of situation on the maps, which for someone like me, when I log in, it's just like I spend my time in the looking for group waiting for the next taxi for whatever meta's up at the moment.
And FPS Polska says, no one will ever be completely satisfied with a game, and you could probably say that about any game, and that's true. I think one of the things that we seem to be not saying is that one of the things that didn't come in with the Heart of Thorns maps are these standalone or is it standalone events? But something that will keep you exploring or grinding out when the off switch happens from the meta event. And we don't know what they're planning for those maps in future, especially if Season 3 ties into those maps somehow. They could add in more events that will just play when the meta is not on. I don't know.
That's what I think. Like when I find myself on a Heart of Thorns map, I'm running, and I can run very large distances. Go to several key areas in the map, and just nothing, just absolutely nothing is going on. And so you really have to follow tags and stuff to be able to find the events in those maps. And if they're a little richer with events, I don't think that would be an issue.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a discussion going on in chat at the moment about Revenant Legends and kind of a promise that whether or not they talk to you. And there's kind of two sides to it. So you do get a bit of dialogue with Legends, but like Cloak and Dagger says, a lot of the time it is kind of just a general scream or shout or something.
When you swap them.
They talk to you, not every time, but they talk to you intermittently. Like Shiro will tell you that he thinks you're gonna work well together and stuff like that. They definitely talk to you.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with how they do it.
The issue for me is that the Revenant still isn't really explained anywhere, or we didn't really learn anything from Ritlock, and I was expecting to learn something interesting about where what happened to him and where the Revenants come from, and just go in depth a bit with the profession, unlike they've kind of done with any of the current previous ones.
Mhm.
Whatever the score is.
Bjorn Rocker in chat says Dredge Haunt Cliffs counts 36 events versus Verdant Brink's 45. It does, but that doesn't. The events in Verdant Brink are. It's like Rowan mentioned earlier, the timer issue. With these events on timers, it's a lot more difficult to get to experience each of those events because they're not running simultaneously. You have to go from one to the next, and they're on. And when the meta's down in a down state, like Verdant Brink has the interesting day-night cycle thing going on, which is actually kind of annoying sometimes. But just those mechanics sparsify those events to a point where I just feel like the core TRR maps do a better job of delivering event content for people who just want to go in and be like, hey, there's something to do over there. Let's go do that.
You know what I found? This week I was in, I think it was Auric Basin, and I was doing story steps, and I went to my next little star on the map to get to my next step, and it was down. And it basically was down because the meta was about to start. And I ran into this a couple of times in a couple of the maps, and I thought, well, that's kind of interesting because they're basically blocking you from going and continuing the story step, just coming into the map and continuing your story steps and forcing you to participate in the meta.
Yeah.
Which I can see why it's helpful. You get more people playing the meta, but at the same time, it's kind of like, what happened to play as you want, like you want?
Exactly.
Because it feels like it's kind of blocking you from doing what you want.
And so, moving on to guild chat then, which is what they started out with Colin kind of talking about, and like we were mentioning earlier, is that they're going to look at ways to allow you to have meaningful progression in short kind of bursts of playtime, if that's all you can manage. So they're looking to make adventures more accessible, happen more frequently, which I'd definitely be happy about. They did a load of stuff on tips for map completion XP gain, which we're not really going to go into because I mean it was a load of nothing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the sounds of the new raid boss I thought were quite interesting and worth kind of talking a little bit about. So there's something to do with nostrils happening in the next raid. And the thing that kind of excited me most is I'm glad to hear it's an actual kind of creature, kind of like Gorseval and Veil Guardian to an extent. Human bosses generally aren't really my cup of tea in terms of a raid boss. It doesn't feel particularly epic fighting another human like Sabbather. I mean, regardless of how mechanical or difficult the fight is, it's nice to just fight a big kind of hulking creature like Gorseval. And so hopefully it sounds interesting and promising so far based on the sounds. It's not really much to go on, but I'm hoping
it was an interesting way to tease next week's guild chat.
It was. So obviously going to talk about the new raid boss next week a little bit. Don't know what if they're going to reveal anything substantial or not. I mean, I hope they do. I'd like to learn a little bit.
Probably
about them.
drip feed you.
Yeah.
They're gonna be drip feeding you for a while.
I mean, even if it's just like a screenshot of what it looks like, I'll be happy with that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next raid. Hopefully it comes out soon. So I've got something to do.
I don't think March is ridiculous to expect. I mean, we're only like halfway through February. If they announced it in a blog post next week, and then
they said it was coming out Q1, right?
Yeah, that gives them. Did they say it was coming out Q1? I don't know if they confirmed Q1.
I believe it was Q1. I don't remember now, but I thought it was, which would be next month.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I have to go double check on that. But yeah, I mean, they were talking about the sound effects and stuff in guild chat on Friday, which was probably the only bit of actual pertinent information on that entire episode. But yeah, I would, if they could announce it, next week or the week after, and still have 3 to 4 weeks to hype it.
Yeah. So Bjorn.
Raukar.
I'm so sorry for pronouncing your name incorrectly. Said they said before next quarterly patch. So yeah. So yeah, I think March is going to be a good time. I forgot.
Which is probably good timing because I think it's probably good timing. Just because of what we're talking about, it feels like there's a lull. We need something else to do.
Yeah, I really need. I mean, for people who don't raid, I imagine it's probably not really going to bring all that much for them to do. So hopefully there's something else that comes along. I mean, I don't really know. If
I mean,
it will
not
be.
this quarter, but scheduled for this year, we have new fractals coming in. I'm so excited about new fractals, but at the same time, I don't know how they're going to deliver it. Because if they come out and they're like, we have 3 new fractals for you, I'm going to be like, I want there to be like 12 new fractals, guys. I want them to double the fractal arsenal.
I have a feeling it's gonna be like at the end of this year, new fractal. Like, did
Yeah,
they do?
and they're gonna be like,
like-
there's a new fractal, and you're gonna be like, dear God, what did I
Wasn't-
wait all year for?
Wasn't like
Right,
the
right.
old fractured update like November or something? So if they just like
It was
mirror
November. It was November 2013.
So if
We
they
have not
like
had a
mirror that November 2016, 3 years later.
3 years
Why do you
we
get
have
later.
one
not
new
had a new
fractal?
fractal in almost 3 years. It's
Yeah.
crazy how long we've been dealing with the same fractal rotation. And it's like, oh, you can go to scale 100 now. It's like, but it's still the same encounter. Let's be honest here. And like a lot of fractal white knights will give you the what are they called? The instabilities shtick. And I played some fractals with instabilities. Guys, it's still the same fractal. It's just more annoying. Like,
Basically.
like it's not. It doesn't make it more interesting. It just makes it frustrating. Okay.
Yeah.
We need actual new encounters to play.
Yeah.
Definitely. And and like I said, that's not even scheduled for quarter 1. That's not. They didn't even give a definitive quarter on that. It's just down the road.
I think
It's
quarter
like
4.
it's like what they did with World versus World. That
Mm,
their
they
big
just
Yeah.
said
their
that's
big
gonna
fix
come
thing.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so yeah, so as Bjorn says, I'm excited about the new raid. I expect new mechanics, since they said it would be mechanically very different. I think we talked about this last episode or the one before that. But yeah, I'm super excited as well. And as Polska said, the higher fractals just take longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like
They're
I'd
barely
like to
content.
see I'd like to see more fractals with actual difficulty, like somewhere between like dungeons and raiding is what fractals should be in my mind. Like dungeons just face roll, raiding properly focused. Fractals should be like a kind of
between.
middle ground. Yeah,
Which
and something that should prepare people for raiding a little bit. Like
Which people would always talk about how much different and better than dungeons fractals are. I don't think so. Fractals seem very much the same as dungeons to me. Like, sure, they're shorter, but they're the same. You know, oh, there's some trash, and then you go have a boss fight. This is how the boss fight works. It's relatively easy. You know, I feel like fractals and dungeons were more or less the same content and just delivered in a different way.
I think
Which
they
I don't
have-
mind. I actually like dungeons. I just don't play them because the
Yeah.
rewards are crap now. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think fractals are pretty good where they are. I think when they put new fractals in, they'll make them a little bit more difficult. But the type of content, I'm happy with it. I just want more of it, and I think it's something like fractals are really like highly played. A lot of people play fractals,
Yeah.
and I feel like they don't give that game type the maintenance it deserves because people love fractals and they love playing them, and they just don't give us fractals, and that's kind of sad.
Indeed. And so I think that about wraps up kind of talking about this lull. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to bring up?
Just that it hasn't been, like I said, it feels like such a big lull because the January 26th patch, we kind of bought into a little more hype on that, and it didn't give us as much as we thought we were actually getting. But because technically, since the 26th patch, the lull hasn't been that long, but it feels a lot longer because that patch wasn't as big as we thought it was going to be.
You know, going back to that whole thing that people were expecting the Shatterer to be on the level with Tequatl, and we were going, no, why would it be?
Well,
The amount of people that I see walking around with the back piece now already, and it's like, I felt like, Tequatl, it took a while before people started, filling out that achievement section.
And I thought the Shatterer was going to be a Tequatl revamp just because I didn't follow those blog posts very closely. They did say in the blog post that it totally wasn't, but I didn't really follow it. So that's why a lot of people were expecting that because they just heard they were vamping.
People don't read the instructions. Is a
Not really. No.
It's a common trait.
About stuff they aren't super hyped about. Yeah, they won't because I wasn't super hyped about Shatterer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so to kind of wrap up then, some stuff that happened on GuildMag this week. Do you want to talk us through this, Sandra? Since you know more about it than...
We had a couple of things come out. We had a cool little piece on gliding in Corteria, some fun places to go glide from. That was a contributor writer who came in.
I was going to say, some people have been doing some interesting stuff this week. One guy got behind the Tengu wall with the floating castle thingy. Have a look at that. someone else found a load of placeholder textures in ore, I think it was.
Mhm.
So I'm expecting to see more stuff like that. And I think this is what's keeping a lot of people entertained. Like just
Actually,
yeah,
on,
break the game.
let me go do some. Let me go break the game.
Yeah, actually, a couple weeks ago when I was streaming Plains of Asteroid map completion, I glided into the faux fire crater that you used to not be able to get into, and there's like some corridors down there, and there's like a fireplace.
Did you go check it out?
Yeah, I like took some screenshots and put it on Twitter. I was like, guys, we're in the
That bot is up on our YouTube channel
Yes.
now. Yeah.
Segue.
Yeah, that was cool.
So there's some really cool gliding places now. And the other part was so two-parter review of Heart of Thorns. The first part came out on Wednesday, I think it was, on Story Impressions, and that's by a new writer for us, Alex. So yeah, I think he's going to be following that up with a review of the mechanics that were introduced with Heart of Thorns. So look for that this week.
Features review.
Yep.
Features review, yes.
And that's on GuildMag.com.
That's right.
And so to kind of wrap up before we finish the show, as always, we're still looking for more writers. So if you fancy writing for us, you can go to guildmag.com/join, joining a team of 15 people. We're a friendly bunch, I think.
Yeah. A little goofy.
Yeah. And you don't have to have any previous writing experience. You may think you're a really rubbish writer. Don't worry, Aaron is as well. Every week we do this joke.
Guys, I write at a 3rd grade level. It's pretty bad.
Aaron's got this new Thrifty Threads coming out this week as well.
I do.
Yes.
February 17th.
Fashion on a budget. And so yeah, guildmag.com, check it out. Thank you to everyone who's joined us in chat today. It's been great. We will do our usual post show if you're watching us live, so stick around for that. If not, twitch.tv/guildmag. We're live every Sunday at 8 PM GMT, 12 Pacific. Mondays and Wednesdays we have Aaron's stream. Do you want to hype that a little bit before we go?
Yeah, every Monday, Wednesday I stream I stream map completing a different map on my Revenant, who doesn't have any map completion yet. So I think we've gone through 5, 6, 7 zones now. So we'll be doing Brisbane Wildlands tomorrow, and then Diesa Plateau on Wednesday. And you can see that, as he said, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, and the stream schedule is down below now. And you can read that.
And that's about it. So make sure you join Aaron for his stream, and join us next Sunday when we try and find something to talk about. Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you in a week. Bye, guys.
Bye.